Today we'll be discussing cards that tell you to perform a summon immediately after effect resolves, such as IP Masquerena, True Draco Heritage, Psy-Frame Circuit, a couple of other cards. Welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. My name is Benji, and in the Ask Judgement series we try to help you misplay less and win more by knowing more about Yu-Gi-Oh than your opponent does. If you enjoy ruling content, make sure to check out the playlist in the iCard up above and see if one of your questions you may have had has already been answered in a previous video. Otherwise, make sure to leave questions down below, and maybe they will make it into new videos, or join the Discord where you can ask questions to me directly and I can respond much faster, as well as potentially playing me for streams or for other video purposes, maybe joining the How to Play series, things like that. So let's get into these types of effects. The type of effect we're referring to is any effect that specifically tells you to perform a game mechanic summon. A game mechanic summon includes a normal summon, a tribute summon, a synchro summon, a link summon, an Xyz summon, a contact fusion summon, a pendulum summon. All of these things are inherent summons. And what I mean by an inherent summon, which is a super unofficial term, and I shouldn't be using it, and I've used it like 15 times now, is a summon that is not the result of an activated effect, which might stand out as confusing because IP Masquerena allows you to perform a link summon, which is part of its effect. So I'm going to try and clear this up now, so let's just read the exact card text of IP Masquerena and try and understand it. So IP Masquerena says, during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves, meaning you've activated IP Masquerena as Chainlink 1, its effect has resolved. Link summon one link monster using materials you control, including this card. You can only use this effect of IP Masquerena once per turn. So, when this effect resolves, Chainlink 1, perform a link summon. You will then resolve that effect, and then you perform a link summon. The link summon, because it specifically says when this effect resolves, is actually not part of the card effect of IP Masquerena. It is a completely separate summon that occurs because IP Masquerena said so. How is this useful? What can you get from this? And all card effects that have this type of effect. The important thing to know is it technically still counts as an effect that does special summon you, so you can negate its effect with Solemn Warning, which says negate the activated effect that would allow you to perform a special summon. So this effect does allow you to perform a special summon, it's just not part of its effect itself. So it's a weird one. I actually don't even agree with that. I don't even think you should be allowed to Solemn Warning the activated effect of IP Masquerena, but you can. But the other thing is, if you allow it to resolve and perform the link summon, so let's say we have IP Masquerena on the field and you link with another monster into a Nightmare Unicorn, during Chainlink 1, I'm going to keep saying during Chainlink 1 because that matters for a lot of these things that I'm talking about today, is that the summon of Nightmare Unicorn does not occur during the chain. It was a link summon, a game mechanic link summon that happened to occur during your opponent's, during the other player's turn. And because that was a link summon, which is a special summon, and a monster would be summoned, you can negate it with Solemn Warning. So you can negate the activated effect of IP Masquerena with Solemn Warning, or Solemn Strike. You can't negate it with Solemn Judgement, but the successful summon of Nightmare Unicorn during Chainlink 1 can be negated by all three of those cards, by Judgement, by Solemn Strike, and by Solemn Warning. Now, this is very different if it happens during Chainlink 2, so if your opponent activates like Infinite Impermanence targeting the IP Masquerena and you chain IP Masquerena, you would then resolve her Chainlink, Chainlink 2, which would say after this effect resolves, summon the link monster, so we'll summon our Nightmare Unicorn during Chainlink 2, so Chainlink 1 has to resolve. So Infinite Impermanence will resolve that effect because its target has left the field, and now we've missed the opportunity to Solemn Judgement the summon of the Nightmare Unicorn, to Solemn Strike the summon of the Nightmare Unicorn, to Solemn Warning the summon of the Nightmare Unicorn. You can still Solemn Strike the effect of Nightmare Unicorn, and it might be worth doing that. But the point is, if you have these cards like IP Masquerena or Unchained Soul of Rage, which allow you to perform a summon during Chainlink 2 or higher, you should do so to play around these card effects when possible. The reason I'm actually doing this video is because there was a video of suggested great ruling ideas and like tricks to just improve your game slightly by Yasin, and Yasin made one mistake and I want to address that here. I was a big fan of the video up until that moment. Nothing wrong with everything else was fantastic. He made a comment that if you can summon your True Draco monsters in your True Draco deck by using the effect of True Draco Heritage, you can use it to play around Solemn Warning. He's correct, it'll play around certain things, but not Solemn Warning, and I'll explain why. True Draco Heritage allows you to activate this effect. When this effect resolves, perform a tribute summon of a True Draco monster. So if you activate True Draco Heritage and then trigger its ignition effect, it will resolve, allowing you to perform a tribute summon. If you tribute summon for True Draco, Dinomight Knight, the True Draco fighter, it'll come onto the board. Maybe you'll tribute the Heritage. You're just going to assume it's there for the example. So Chainlink 1 resolves, then you perform a game mechanic normal summon. Game mechanic normal summon can be Solemn Judgmented, it can be Solemn Warninged, and it will negate the summon of the monster. Now the True Draco Heritage did go to the graveyard as a result from the field, so it will activate in a separate chain, because summon negation chains occur before the next chain after a summon. So you can't actually dodge Solemn Warning during Chainlink 1. Now you could do it during Chainlink 2. Let's imagine we had both True King's Return and True Draco Apocalypse on the field, and it's your opponent's turn. You can activate True Draco Apocalypse Chainlink 1 to perform the normal summon, or not, doesn't matter. Then you can chain True King's Return as Chainlink 2. You'll resolve True King's Return as Chainlink 2, which would then allow you to summon the Dinomight Knight. It'll come onto the field, and then you'll resolve Chainlink 1, which didn't perform the summon because you've already summoned the monster. And now the summon occurred in the middle of the chain, so the opportunity to activate Solemn Warning or Solemn Judgment was now missed. So trying to summon it as a later Chainlink can allow you to play around Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgment. This particular monster wasn't affected by Solemn Strike because it's a normal summon. Another card that you should know has this kind of effect would be Psy-Frame Circuit. If you're not a fan of the Psy-Frame deck, you could play around the Psy-Frame deck by having Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, and Solemn Judgment set, because they're counter traps, you can't chain Psy-Frames to them. But the scenario came up at a regional for me where I saw a player had Psy-Frame Circuit on the field, and the opponent attacked into Psy-Frame Gear Beta, and Beta was used to destroy an attacking monster and end the battle phase, and then Circuit was triggered to perform a Synchro Summon. The Synchro Summon was for the summon of a Black Rose Dragon. Now, because the effect of Circuit reads as follows, if a Psy-Frame monster is special summoned to your side of the field, except during the damage step, you can, this is the activation condition, immediately after this effect resolves, the text we've been talking about all day, perform a Synchro Summon of a Synchro monster using Psy-Frame monsters you control as material. That is a game mechanic Synchro Summon. So when the Black Rose is summoned, you can negate its summon using Solemn Warning, Solemn Strike, or Solemn Judgment, assuming it was Chainlink 1. And it is possible to activate two Psy-Frames in the same Chainlink, so if you try to negate end a battle phase with the Beta and then you chain a Gamma when they activate a monster effect, you can actually summon them both, and then when it resolves, you'll be able to trigger Psy-Frame Circuit twice, and depending on when you, which Synchro monster gets summoned, maybe you summon an Omega with the resolution of Chainlink 2, and you summon a Black Rose with Chainlink 1, they can actually only negate the summon of the Black Rose Dragon because it came down as a result of Chainlink 1. Alright, and the other reason I wanted to talk about this is there are monsters that get summoned by the card effect, not afterwards, which is what I'm saying about all of these. So all these cards say immediately after this effect resolves, meaning if they're Chainlink 1, you can respond with Solemn Warning. Some cards get summoned during the chain. So an example of that would be a ritual spell. If you activate Necroz's Mirror, when it resolves, Unicorn is already on the field. You can't negate the summon of Unicorn with Solemn Warning. You can negate the activation of the ritual spell itself with Solemn Warning, which is what you should do. If you thought you could negate the summon, trying to make them tribute the monster for the cost, that would be a misplay. You don't want to do that. So either negate the ritual summon or allow the summon to be successful, but you can't negate the summon of the monster that was summoned by the effect of a spell card. You can negate the spell card from summoning the monster with Solemn Warning. You could not Solemn Warning the summon of a Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon that is summoned by the effect of Red-Eyes Fusion. So if Red-Eyes Fusion is activated, you could Solemn Warning it, you could Solemn Judgment it, but you can't Solemn Strike the summon of the Red-Eyes Dark Dragoon because it was summoned during the Chainlink, so the summon was already successful. So that's the difference between all these other card effects. Technically, the chain resolved, the effect already happened, and then the game mechanic summon was performed. Now, fusion summons tend to not be game mechanic summons. There are some exceptions, like contact fusions, like ABC Buster Dragon, where you perform the summon by doing something other than activating a card effect. You just banish the three materials and you summon the ABC Buster Dragon. That is an inherent summon, and you can negate it with Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, and Solemn Judgment. And I think that's going to kind of cover everything. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and make sure to join the Discord, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you in future episodes of Ask Judge Man.